Black Sabbath's Never Say Die, spiritual lessons from Sabbath's darkest hour. So we're breaking down each track with spiritual insights, lyric reflections, and questions to spark your own inner exploration. This is just a smooth journey through the album's spiritual lessons, vibe, and meaning. Hi, friends, I'm Scott, and I welcome you to be one with me as we journey together to be the best we can. I make content on expanding consciousness and spiritual solutions, mind, body, and spirit. So we're talking about Black Sabbath's album Never Say Die, facing the edge of despair and finding the will to rise. Never Say Die is released in 1978, and it arrived as Black Sabbath's last album with Ozzy before his first departure. And it's layered with the tension, exhaustion, and fierce determination of a band wrestling with its own mortality. And spiritually, the album feels like a pilgrimage through darkness, pushing against endings while holding on to a glimmer of defiant hope. It captures the edge of collapse and the stubborn refusal to surrender. Raw metaphor for our spiritual battles. The opening track, Never Say Die, is a battle cry, refusal to be broken even when the world crumbles around you. Looking for the answers that they know inside, searching for a reason, looking for rhyme. Snow White's mirror said, partners in crime. This lyric is a reminder that suffering, struggle, and resistance are collective experiences. The song challenges the listener to tap into resilience, not as denial, but as fierce self-love. How do we show up when everything seems lost? What does it mean for us to truly never say die in our life, spirit, or in our growth? Johnny Blade brings a harder edge, telling a story of vengeance and violence and violent justice. Tortured and twisted, he walks the streets alone. Beneath the surface, it can be read as the shadow side of the soul's fight to reclaim power. Vengeance often makes a deeper hurt, and the song invites reflection on how cycles of anger and retaliation keep us trapped in darkness. When have we been Johnny Blade in our own stories? What wounds are you trying to heal through fury, and could forgiveness be a stronger form of freedom? Junior's eyes slow the pace, but deepens the emotional texture. It's written about a fan who tragically passed away, and it explores grief innocence, innocence lost, and the fragility of life. He prayed that his masks, he prayed that his maker, the giver and the taker, would peer. Junior sighed as his hands reached out to the sky. Junior cried the day his best friend died. Wow. This track is a meditation on mortality and the connection between the souls beyond the physical. It asks the listener to face loss not with avoidance, but with acceptance. How do you hold space for grief without letting it consume you? What parts of our soul have junior eyes, pure, open, and unguarded? And how do we protect that innocence? A hard road is a candid look at struggle and resilience. The lyrics describe weakness and pain, but are also unyielding spirit. We're living in sorrow. We're living the best and look to the future because life goes together now. Over and over. The song becomes a mantra for anyone on a tough spiritual path, reminding us that endurance is itself a form of victory. What hard life moments are our spirit, what hard life moments are in our spiritual journey, and can we hold our weariness while still finding the strength to move forward? It takes us to Shockwave, and it hits like a sudden jolt, a sonic explosion that mirrors moments in life where we're shaken awake by unexpected forces. The lyrics, "There's no reason for you to run. You can't escape the fate of the chosen one." Lyric captures the disruptive power of sudden change, trauma or revelation that breaks us out of complacency. Spiritually, the song is about the awakening shock that can either fracture us or propel us forward. It challenges us to consider how we respond when life's thunderclaps hit. We resist and break, or we let the shock wave clear the debris, revealing new clarity beneath. What recent shock waves have shaken your inner world, and how are you integrating their energy to grow stronger? Air dance brings an unusual, almost jazzy lightness to a momentary breath amid heaviness. It feels like a metaphor for spiritual surrender. How's it go? Her distant dreamer on the seas of time, her happy memories dancing through her mind. Here we're learning to dance with the unpredictable winds of change. Sometimes spiritually isn't about control, or spirituality isn't about control, but about how do you dance with uncertainty in your life? Can we release the need to always have the answers? Over to you returns to themes of frustration and blame, but also accountability, a calling out of the very systems that shaped our lives. Standing inside myself, I'm losing control. You made me believe in the stories you told. It's about the pain of miscommunication, of feeling unheard. Spiritually, it challenges us to examine how often we blame others instead of taking responsibility for our part in conflicts. Who in your life do you need to forgive? What parts of ourselves need forgiveness? Breakout is another of the instrumental breaks in Sabbath's albums. It's a call to break free from the normal, what we're used to, and how to embrace unexpected change. There's crazy saxophone work here. Sometimes the hardest part of awakening is deciding to take the leap. What cages are we still locked in, what would breaking out look like for us, The closing track, Swinging the Chain, with its frantic energy and biting lyrics, feels like the last act of rebellion before surrender. There must be some way out of here, a compromise that's right. A compromise that's right. This is the final scream of resistance, the spirit's refusal to be tamed when exhausted. It leaves us with a paradox, Surrendering doesn't mean giving up. It can be the ultimate act of freedom. All in all, Never Say Die captures the rawness of a soul in flux. Despair, the anger, the love, and the grit it takes to keep fighting when the future looks uncertain. It's a spiritual document of transition and tenacity. The album invites us to embrace the full spectrum of our human experience and to recognize that survival itself is sacred. What parts of our spirit are on the edge right now? And how do we find meaning in the struggle? And most importantly, what does it mean for us to never say die? Subscribe to this channel, like and share this video, and let me know in the comments about how you see the lessons and the inspirations and or the spiritual guidance in Black Sabbath's album Never Say Die. Visit beonewithme.com. More is coming from the heart for the soul. Remember, a smile can make someone's day, and the right words may change their life. Check out one of these videos. Thank you for watching. I love you, truly. Be you, and be one with me.